Please welcome Paulina Helm-Hernandez of Southerners on New Ground.
Hello, family. Hey. I see a lot of Southerners in the house. Hey. Awesome. Y'all got me all the way up in here in Connecticut to talk to y'all. But I am so glad to be here. Thank you so much for CLPP. I have been trying to get here for years, literally. And the song Political Family back home, it is grinding in the South and sends all their love and all their greetings. And are like, oh, CLPP, get us another CLPP, baby. That's what we call the interns. So we're gonna get that together. But we are like the CLPP interns, y'all. Like, y'all are giving us life. So appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to a lot of y'all that are going on this journey to go join other organizations, other movements, other platforms, other sectors of work across our movement. I'm with Southerners on New Ground. We were founded in 1993 in Durham, North Carolina. Yes. Very much at a time where the North American Free Trade Agreement had just passed. And SONG's co-founders came out of both doing racial and economic justice work throughout the South, and were very, very, very concerned about the way that the gay and lesbian community at the time was refusing to engage with the struggles, well, I should say, the majority of what was called the sort of national sector of the gay and lesbian rights movement was really refusing to engage with the racial and economic justice struggles of our time. And so SONG was a little bit of a political intervention that turned into a political home for many of us. And I'm here, literally 23 years later, to talk a little bit about how a lot of the stuff in North Carolina that we're seeing is in direct reaction, right, to the fact that our region has been changing, our countries and movements have been carving out space, not just for the visibility of LGBT people, or for the visibility of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people all across, which we have to still say it. We still have to spell it out oftentimes. And we know that oftentimes, like what's happening in North Carolina, we've been reflecting a lot about what this meant, right? What this has meant. Because North Carolina, for a lot of you that are not from the South, is also the state that has the most progressive infrastructure than most of the other Southern states. There have been many longstanding, amazing organizations that have contributed to the lifeblood of the work. SONG is just one of them. And we also know that we're beginning to sort of call HB2, which is the sort of what's being sort of labeled the anti-trans bathroom bill. It's not just about bathrooms. It's not just about bathrooms. It is but a Trojan horse of the conservative right? And it is something that is very much, we're talking about also like, you know, a little bit joking about it, like, oh, HB too late, baby. Because you already know queer and trans people are all over North Carolina. In every small town, in every rural corner, at every taco stand, in every parking lot of a rural country Walmart, in every parking lot. Yeah, we were outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, and that is also a reason why this has happened. Because the conservative right in the Southeast, y'all, they are peeing their pants. They're peeing their pants because rooms like this one all across the country, all across the South, all across the Deep South, in small circles, 3 people, 5 people, 12 people are talking and plotting and convening and saying, what is your dream for a better tomorrow, right? And we are carving out space all across the South, all across the nation, for not just who we are as our people, but actually for our communities. And to actually be able to name that very much in the tradition. And thank you so much, sister, for reminding us whose land we are on, and that we were never meant to survive. We were never meant to be around to speak our names. We were never meant to be around to remember who started this fight. We were never meant to be around to even remember that we are kin to each other. We live in a system that has broken our kinship by force. And so SONG reminds me that so much of that work is still to be done. So much of that work is still to be done. The work of building political unity across issues, across identity, across languages, across political ideology, and even across vision, right? Like somebody named earlier that like we all have completely different ideas of what justice is. And I couldn't agree more. What I need in my life and the self-determination that I need for me and my family is completely different than what a lot of my political family does. And yet we fight together. Why? Why do people who are not of the same identity, do not speak the same language, struggle to understand each other? Why do we look for each other so hard? That's the question that SONG has been exploring for the last 3 years. And we think that because love challenges the system. We think that love and kinship are one of the most dangerous things to our political system as it stands. We do. And I sit in rooms like this one where I see what actually feminist leadership platforms can accomplish. It is one of the reasons why, from far away, we know we have a relationship to CLPP. We know that that's what we have a relationship to Sister Song. We know we have a relationship to a lot of other kinship organizations and resistance crews all across the country and all across the South. And so one of the things that I was like, what can I talk to y'all, about how bad things are in the South? That's not what I came to talk to y'all about. I came here to talk to y'all about that things are bad at the legislature because things are so good in our community. Oftentimes, the fight is just getting started. The fight is just getting started. And HB too late, baby, we're going to show you what time it is, North Carolina. We're going to show you what time it is. We're going to show you what time it is. And so I also wanted to lift up Political Research Associates. It's one of my political loves. I am recently on the board of PRA, and it has just shown me just how important it is to keep our eyes on the right. How important it is to not be so caught up with sometimes our vision for what we want, our community, our 10 best friends that have everything that they need, our small crew that if the 10 of us, the 12 of us can be good, then it's all good for everybody. That is not true. That is not true. And one of the things that also PRA and our family in the South has always continued to remind me is that we actually do have some shared enemies. We have some top enemies of the right. Right? Like, so we are the top enemies of the right. And in terms of the right, we have some shared enemies. And Song has been like a little bit of a year-long mission to be like, how do we get down and double down on some of our shared enemies, family? And how do we name them, right? Not just the folks, our people whose lives have been lost, but also they're hiding in the shadows behind a dark political machinery that pretends like it's not personal. They're pretending like they don't know who we are, y'all. They're pretending like this is still about bathrooms, right? And so coming back to this question around the Trojan horse, one of the things that HB2 also does, for people that don't know, is that it also voids out any living wage campaigns that have been won in North Carolina, which was a direct reaction to the Fight for 15 and the minimum wage fights that have been engaging across the state and gaining ground, right? So it's also very much to keep working class people poor, and it's to continue to sort of tell the LGBT Southern community that we will break you by any means necessary. So you might as well go back in the closet now, baby. Right? And so we're here to say, Governor Pat McCrory, you're an enemy of the people, and we will come find you, baby. We were at your house last week, 2 weeks ago. We're going to be at your house again. We're going to follow you all up and down the state. And we're going to make sure, baby, that by the end of what happens, he knows our names, he remembers most of our stories, he remembers the impact that people like him have on people in our communities, and we actually get to grow political power with each other for who should actually be representing our interests. And so, to your point about the elections, I absolutely agree. I am not a fan of the elections, I have to say. It is definitely like feels like sometimes like the lesser of two evils, and we have to be a little bit more tactical. We have to know that this is ground game. When we have to know that we're in a really dangerous moment where Trump is just the beginning. People are like, Cruz, aren't you excited? Cruz is Latino. I'm like, y'all are killing me right now. Y'all are killing me right now. This is why identity politics are so like last century. Because we know that people that look like just like us, who do not represent our values, do not lift up people most directly affected, should not be allowed to represent us. Should not be allowed to represent us. And so I wanted to leave you all with one more thing, which is that I'm also going to be on a couple panels later, so come holler at me if you want to talk more about song. If you're in the South, I encourage you to become a member. If you are in the South and want to get down with campaigns, we are part of launching a set of campaigns called Free from Fear, which is just to say that that's one of the biggest things that we're seeing in our region, fear, and a very targeted strategy of attrition against our people, and that we have to not be deluded, that the fighting back against the conservative right is also about staking out our political power and be able to broaden the circle. And as Marisa Franco from the Not One More Deportation campaign and Mi Gente says, we have to literally build a ring of fire around our people and show them that you too can get burned. You too can get burned by the power of our communities. We also remember not just the names of the forgotten and the buried, but the names of our future generations who deserve so much more than tiny little pockets of progressive spaces. They deserve justice, they deserve redemption, They deserve to know that we are here. And I just want to thank you all so much. Keep the good work going. Keep growing your resistance crews wherever you are. Keep lifting up feminist platforms. They are what has changed, one of the things that has changed my life, and one of the things that has changed a lot of the lives of other Southern leaders, to know that we have feminist allies and co-conspirators around the country who are also on the liberation grind with us. Thank you so much.